What is going on, guys? It's Adam aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We'll be right back. Maybe. Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show, including our wonderful mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. All right, guys. So, man, oh man. Obviously, we have a webcam set up here, which is fine. But yeah, everything, again, OBS has been causing problems, and there's been several updates rolled out. I don't know why. I wish I could switch to Mac. Macs are just like incredibly expensive, but man, it's like PCs have been just updating and updating and updating, and I think it's because they're getting hacked left and right, and they have to flip and protect themselves. And they're just, not trying to get their asses handed to them. But whatever is going on, it really sucks because it's literally screwing up everybody. It's like, why don't they make a streaming computer that, has none of these kind of updates? It's like right before you go live, something like that happens, and it's really crappy. Now my camera doesn't work with my computer, and I've got to download drivers. It's like, why? There's a good percentage of people that do this for a living. Make it easier. Anyways, there's lots to cover tonight. If you've never been here before, my name is Adam aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We are going to talk about a lot in a short amount of time, especially since we're late, so I'm going to go right through it. But remember, you can follow along on our website. You can go to marfooglenews.com. You'll see no takebacks, so very connected. The two events here right on the thumbnail. In fact, if you look on the left, that is the ship that caught fire under mysterious circumstances. And then on the right, in the same country, an oil field caught fire under suspicious circumstances. So we'll look at that here in just a minute. We're going to talk about all sorts of other stuff. It's going to be in there. All right, let's bring in Dex before we get started. Dex, how are you doing? And again, how's your day going?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. My day's going pretty good, except for the technical issues, but I'm glad we've got things figured out.
So the show must go on. Thank you for everybody that is being, that's patient. I always see the comments like, whatever, I'm out of here. It's like, okay, we do a live show. We don't have multi-million-dollar companies backing us. It's me and Dex. So when something goes wrong last minute, it's us. So thank you guys that are patient, that actually stick around. Because tonight's show, I will tell you this. I don't normally say it very often, but this is real stuff right here. This is big news. This is the kind of stuff that we've been talking about for a year, including we just talked about last night, and we talked about several nights ago. It's like we talk about something, and then a day or two later, an article comes out about it. It's freaky. They say that Kim Jong-un talking about his sister being successor and all this. It's like, really? When did we just talk about that? Was that in public mainstream at all? No. So, again, our group of military is just amazing. All right, we've got rocket delivery of cargo anywhere in an hour in new Air Force budget proposal. This is just further news on, again, what we've covered already. This is a system that would launch basically any kind of equipment in an hour or less to anywhere in the world. And they are putting this through. Dex, they're putting this money through, and we're following the money, and we're looking at where they're putting these budgets. It obviously looks like they're getting ready for a conflict. Do you disagree?
Yeah, no, I don't. And, we talked about this last night. We talked about the budget. We talked about the different layers and the spending in the low Earth orbit. And I had mentioned that this was one of the things. And then we had actually talked about this when it was an idea, I think many months ago, when they were just floating the idea, but now they're funding it. So this whole notion of using rockets and transporting troops, equipment, anywhere on Earth in a short period of time through space or through low Earth orbit is exactly what they're talking about and exactly what they're trying to get funding for in this budget right now.
And a lot of people corrected me. They're like, it is not space, but there could be energy stuff in low orbit. That's fine. However you want to say it, the low Earth orbit or space or, high altitude, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. But the system is kind of scary. It's pretty freaky that they can get people even. There's all sorts of training that are going into play. I heard that one of my buddies who's in the military, his friend is one of the lucky ones that gets to do some of the training to get launched at G-forces from this system. So this is going to be a people carrier too. Imagine sending a spy somewhere, anywhere in the world in an hour. That's nuts. Just really crazy stuff. Or sending, SEAL Team 7 or whatever to anywhere on the planet. Pretty crazy stuff. And we're going to be covering it. Obviously, they're getting ready for something. JBS beef plant workers scheduled to return to work. Now, we talked about this hack and how, big this is. This is more infrastructure stuff. It says JBS SA employees were scheduled to return to the U.S. meat plants on Wednesday, a day after the company's beef operation stopped following a ransomware attack. It says a notorious Russia-linked hacking group is behind the cyber attack against JBS. I don't know why they don't say supposedly. And this is news.trust.org, but this actually came from Routers. Nobody's saying supposedly. They just know for a fact. I don't know if there was a public, somebody taking credit saying, hey, yes, we did it with confirmation, but how do they just say it as fact? Because honestly, after SolarWinds, we don't know what is really going on, but we do know that all of these hacks are now a commonplace thing. We're going to see more. We're going to see more infrastructure get put into. This is something that is going to happen. Drill with your families. This is something that is real. At this point, it's getting real.
So do you think they paid it? I mean, if they were able to resolve it in less than a day, did they pay? I mean, everyone else is down for, a week or 5 days or longer.
Yeah, they must have paid it. Will they come out publicly? Don't they have to come out publicly and say they paid it if there's investors involved? I don't know. It says Brazil's JBS controls about 20% of the slaughtering capacity for U.S. cattle and hogs, so the plant's reopening should prevent a severe supply chain disruption at a time consumers are already facing high meat prices and general food inflation. Also, just meat in general, if you know what's happening in 2030, this is weird. I mean, the whole thing is the world leaders want us to stop eating real meat. They want us to stop eating animals and go to synthetic meats. This is what all of the elites are talking about and funding and saying that we have to take drastic measures. And you're talking about by 2030, in just a few years, they say that they want to limit you to something like 1 hamburger per month, or the equivalent of it. However many ounces a average hamburger is. So, do you want to be limited what you can eat? What if you're a farmer? Can't you have your own cows? Apparently, that's going to be something that you can't do in the future. It says Massachusetts steamship authority hit by cyber attack. This is now commonplace. This is every day. Wait until they hit something big. And we told you, and for any of those people that say they weren't warned, everybody in our audience has been warned. We have over 500 active military. I mean, I'm sure we have way, way more than that. But that was how many active and retired military was in our Discord group. Let alone how many people are watching out of the 300,000+ people that have subscribed, right? This is something that it's really obvious, and it's getting to the point where I'm not even trying to debate other people about it. It's like, if you don't want to watch this show and find out about this stuff, you don't have to. I did this. I started doing this for my own family. Like, I started doing this as videos for my own family. In fact, I don't care about the camera thing. In fact, I started on a cell phone camera. I started, doing things on my break, talking about Cascadia Subduction Zone, which I'm still working on. So at this point, it's like, how can you debunk the fact that these are going up, up, and up, and up? To anybody that is skeptical, or to anybody that you're trying to convince, hey, we need to prep, put them on right now. So if you're skeptical, I would like you to do just a tad of research about what every military agency is doing right now, what every government agency is doing right now, what everyone is preparing for. They have said that just in general, all over the world, they said that if you were a prepper, that you were crazy. I would like to say it is responsible. It's just like if you get car insurance, or if you get health insurance, or if you get life insurance, it's a backup plan for if things go south. Now, no one says, oh, I'm planning for 3 months for when the tornado hits me. Oh, I'm planning for that earthquake that we have no technology to predict. Nobody thinks about these things beforehand. They think about it when it happens. And guess what? They're always caught off guard. There's a small percentage of people, which I think are the smartest percentage of people, that say, okay, we need to prepare for this before it happens. And that's exactly what we do. As far as these cyber attacks, we can show you archived examples over the last 2 years from Louisiana, from Florida, from these government agencies from other countries hacking in to government HR departments where they can make passes, where they can make security clearances, where they can make everything. We can also show you the threats, the reports to Congress. We can show you all of the different things that have come out, Department of Homeland Security, telling you to have 6 months to a year of food and water just in case of an EMP. And people still don't listen. People think, oh, you're nuts, or oh, you're paranoid. If you're that kind of person, then don't watch. Watch something else. Watch The Bachelorette, or watch Naked and Afraid or something. You don't have to watch. If you want to hate watch and yell at it and say, I disagree, that's totally cool too. In fact, hit the dislike button at the same time. But right now, there are more cyber attacks happening, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're happening. This is in a rare case where usually it's like, oh, well, like the asteroid articles. Asteroids were always coming in, right? Why are we hearing about it more and more and more? Some could argue that media is covering it more because it's popular, right? These cyber attacks weren't happening like this until solar winds. That's just my observation. After solar winds, now we're having ransomware attacks everywhere. We've had major hacks before, but not, this is every other show. Every other day I'm covering a massive infrastructure damaging attack. Now think about when our power goes. Everybody else is telling you too. All of my colleagues, everybody else in this realm, and one of them must be right. One of them must have, if you don't believe me, one of these other guys must have some sort of incredibly reliable source. So we're all telling you the same thing, and you still don't believe it. Because we think in our major countries, in UK, in Australia, in France, in US, we think that we're, untouchable. That's not true. It says guests traveling to Woods Hole, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket using ferry service from the Massachusetts Steamship Authority should expect delays after the company announced that it has been a target of a ransomware attack Wednesday morning that is affecting operations. The company's website, which allows passengers to book reservations, currently displays a message stating that the company has run into an error and we weren't able to recover from, and that it is looking into the incident. This is right after JBS. JBS is right after the pipeline, and actually there was several more. Microsoft, there was other ones. That just a couple months ago, there was, of course, the 911 hack. There was the Microsoft 365 hack that affected hospitals all over the country. So just for those that are skeptical and that say it's all fear-mongering, maybe just take an extra trip a week and get a couple extra things, and you can laugh and say you're stupid, but what is it going to hurt? If you have extra stuff, if your lights go out for even a week in a regional storm, you'll be good. Pentagon report clears use of drones made by top Chinese manufacturer. Dex, are we just like, what? Pentagon.
Yeah, and they're clearing them. So, they said that they weren't going to use any of the Chinese-made drones in any of the, DoD type facilities and any of the missions and uses that they had for drones, for these smaller, portable drones. And now apparently they have gone through and they have cleared DJI and another one, I believe.
It's like
it's two DJI drones. Sorry.
It's like our government. It's probably the Mavic Enterprise or something like that they use for, that kind of stuff. Either way, it's like we have two sides, more than two sides in our government fighting with itself. You have the concerned party, which I think hasn't been got to yet, and then those who are just saying, "Oh, it's all good. Everything's fine." Personally, if you look at the research on how many Chinese operated, and again, the country, the government, how many of the companies that make all of the surveillance that we have, and it's some insane number, like 90% of all the surveillance in the world is made in China. And these are all almost all Wi-Fi. These are all things that can be, have a backdoor in. So, it's just, it's crazy that we know for a fact that they are practicing and trying to do the best thing. They're trying to find the best ways to monitor every single person in their country and to control every single person in their country. And then they ship out through all these companies that basically directly answer right to the government. They're shipping out all of these different surveillance systems, and that includes drones. So now they're saying the official narrative is that DJI and at least the one other one is not malicious in any way. I don't know if I don't
it's
know
all
what they
about
look
sending
like.
data back, right? And they say that they were concerned that those drones had the ability to send data back to either the company or to the CCP. So they're saying now that Booz Allen had analyzed them and said, well, there is no data going back. But the question I have is, surely there's maybe no data going back, but did they analyze all the code in it? Did they determine whether or not there was the ability for it to happen? Is there a backdoor? Because what's going to happen is we're going to find out later that, oh, by the way, the drones they were using to monitor a secret facility, pictures from that secret facility have been leaked off to, our adversary.
I just think it's dumb to have your enemy do all this stuff for you. Why, if we are such big enemies with China, why are we still buying their products? Why are we supporting them? Why are we supporting the humans' rights? If we say that they're doing all of these human rights violations, then why are we buying crap directly from them? I just don't understand that. Stormy7572, thank you for the super chat, says, I think D-Live went down. Dex, if you could check on that. I don't know if
it's fine. It came back. It did pick up a couple times. All
right, no worries. And then Emporium Planetarium, thank you for subscribing. And Stormy, thank you so much for letting me know as well. Thank you. Jessica Robinson, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. Jackie O, Breon Nicole, Corey Okafor, thank you so much. Joe R, Judy Hallett. We've got Joanne Harewood. Charlotte Knight just joined us. Thank you. And then Watchman for the King Emerald P says, I ran to the store for meat and got jabbed and cyber attacked. Love you guys. Jesus is coming. That is a lot in just one little sentence. Gone Girl 777, thank you so much for your support. You know, you don't have to do that, but thank you so much. We for the few that support us like you do, we really appreciate it. You guys know we don't have the massive support that all of these big channels do, and we get just as many views as some of these big. We even get as many views as some cable networks. I did not realize that, you know, there's the Tucker Carlsons that have 1 million people watching or 9 million people watching at a time, but most of the daytime shows don't even have as many viewers as we do. Is that nuts? That's crazy to me. And you wonder why they, you know, take smaller YouTubers and they kind of, you know, hit them hard is because they're watching. That's what's crazy to me is that the shift in where people get their information is so broad and so fast going to purely internet. I mean, we're talking about people are canceling cable altogether. Michael Lideker, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. And then over on DLive, I apologize that it cut out, but thank you so much for the massive support. AR15 says, Foogle fam, go to Walmart and get camping meals, $10 a piece, and 30-year shelf life. Can't go wrong. So I've seen those, and I wondered how good they were. But that is actually expensive. I would say at least check out Prepper Nurse. Prepper Nurse has an affiliate, and I believe I want to say he buys the product and then sells it himself. So instead of drop shipping, I would say support a creator like Prepper Nurse. Go over and buy his food products, because then that supports somebody who's actually trying to support themselves and working really hard to bring people information. But anyways, Lisa K23, thank you, Marf and Dex, N95 Hero, Edgy Whalen. It's nice to see you, N95. I haven't seen you in a few days at least. Bling on Grammy, thank you. It's nice to see you too. Haven't seen you. Charlie 64, Charity 1956. We've got Truth Wins, Susie P. And, of course, the truth is out there. It says, better safe than sorry. Pray up and prep up. That's the thing. People are going to say that it's, people they want to tell themselves things to make them feel better. If you want to tell yourself that I do all of this for fear-mongering and views and all this, look at the views for the last 2 years. It's stayed the same. After they kind of marked it, after they marked the channel, it was like 30 to 50,000 every single video. So, and I'm talking like every time. 100,000 views, like maybe once every 3 or 4 months. But we don't get, it's the same amount of people. It's the loyal audience that we have. So whatever we say, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not going to bring us thousands of people because we're not recommended like that. I wish we were, like in the old days before all of these weird adpocalypses. But again, we're not. So where is the motivation for us? I don't know. Dex, we're going to talk about China threatens U.S. intense nuclear showdown as it ramps up atomic program as a vital deterrent against America. But first, can you let us know? By the way, behind the scenes, Dex did a negotiation with Andrew. A lot of the Foogle fam
twice now.
A lot of the Foogle fam were calling. So what happened is I didn't over Memorial Weekend. I didn't do a show. I didn't do a show on Thursday and Friday. I was dealing with family stuff, and I went to a memorial, so I actually didn't cover all of this huge sale. People wait for these like once a year, twice a year sales to try to get those EMPs with a combination of our code and whatever EMP is doing. So I missed that. So I do apologize. What is really awesome is thank Dex, because Dex, basically, what did you do? You called Andrew and had him extend it for.
Well, yeah, we extended it once.
This is a huge company.
And he was going to end it. I think either midnight tonight or something. And then I was like, just go one more day. So like not a whole day, but let's get at least till noon tomorrow. So noon Eastern time tomorrow is when it's over. So this is your last chance. The other thing is, he tells me whenever sales ends, he gets lots of calls from the Fugel fam. They're upset because they missed it. So here we go. We gave you a little extra time. I was able to talk to him. He's so gracious to do it. So
well, EMP shields they're not cheap, and they're actual professional devices. This company is contracted with DHS, DoD. Demso team, they are doing the actual, this is military tested. So it's not something as seen on TV. This is the actual way to do this. So again, it can protect you against all three phases of an EMP, but they're not cheap. So when there are things like this and people have been waiting for that, waiting for the next sale, and then I miss telling, that's my fault. So I do apologize. And I asked Dex if he could try to work something out. So thank you, Dex, and I appreciate it. And I'm sorry, you guys.
And hopefully
every dollar matters.
Those replay, and hopefully those replay watchers can get in. That was the other point. I asked for a little time there for them because I know not everybody watches live.
Well, I also know the moratorium ended. Did you know that? I did not know that. Did you know that the moratorium ended? That's what I heard, and I wanted to cover this. I just heard about it before the show. I did not realize that the moratorium for rent ended. So there's a lot of people that
wow. Yeah, no, I didn't know that ended.
Do you realize all of the people that are getting evicted right now? And it's affecting all sorts of things. So I did not know that. And somebody in the Fugel fam just said that they are getting evicted. And I really feel for them because I really love these people. And I just feel that I knew it was coming. We told you guys, and it's going to affect a lot of different stuff. Now, as far as China threatens U.S. with intense nuclear showdown as it ramps up atomic program as a vital deterrent against America. Now, remember how upwards of 100 of their nuclear scientists actually quit at the same day? They all signed, they all said, oh, I'm done. You don't do that to the Chinese government. If you are a scientist in this particular area, you are a very specific scientist and you are an asset of the Chinese government. So for them to just quit all on the same day, that was a protest. That was saying, I don't care if I'm going to have a target on my back, I'm done. And they all did it together. So what were they protesting against? Were they saying, I don't want blood on my hands? They saw the plans for the future and they said, no. What is actually happening right now with these countries? Like I said in the video earlier, everybody said people are telling themselves, and it very well may be true, that all of these countries are working together, and it's secretly like they're all of this is for show, and that Xi and Mr. B and Putin are all hanging out and having fun and having drinks. That's all gravy, and they're getting this one world thing together, right? But at the same time, they could be putting on the biggest show you've ever seen. What I mean by that is they could still do WW3. They could still destroy almost everybody or take 2/3 of the population out because they believe that that's what the earth needs to be healthy. That is a possibility. That's a real possibility because guess what? They're going to be on their super subs, their $2 billion super subs. They're going to be on their super yachts. They're going to be in their bunkers. They're going to be in their houses. They're going to be in their cloud hotels. They're going to be in low Earth orbit, hanging out, drinking space teenies or low Earth orbit teenies, for those who don't believe. So don't think that we're past this. Like, we're in the midst of some craziness right now. People tell themselves this isn't going to happen because it makes them feel better. Or they truly believe it, and that's fine. China has threatened the United States with an intense nuclear showdown as it ramps up its atomic program. The Mouthpiece newspaper launched a blistering attack on the West, saying that China's nuclear plan was now vital to the country's, quote, strategic deterrence against the U.S. Hu Jin, the editor of Global Times, said, quote, the number of China nuclear warheads must reach the quantity that makes U.S. elites shiver. That's creepy. It says we must be prepared for an intense showdown between China and the U.S. who wrote in the chilling op-ed for the Chinese state-run newspaper. It said, quote, "In that scenario, a large number of Dongfang 41s and JL-2 and JL-3, both intercontinental range submarine launched ballistic missiles, will form the pillar of our strategic will." It says the number of China's nuclear warheads must reach that and basically equal it. And it said intensifying U.S. strategic containment of China means it's, quote, "important is to keep rapidly increasing the number of nuclear warheads and strategic missiles. This is the cornerstone of China's strategic deterrence against the U.S. On this basis, we can calmly and actively manage divergences with Washington to avoid a minor incident sparking a war." Dex, what do you think about this as far as it's just more saber rattling, right?
Well, they do have a goal of overtaking our military power by, I think it's this decade, was their goal. And I think that there was another milestone that's the 100-year anniversary, if I remember correctly, of the party, the CC party, and that they wanted to actually, significantly get past America. So this is all part of their plan.
Now, it says the development of a boomer, a special boomer that has a 5,000-mile range, the H-20, is able to strike Guam and other key facilities, making it a game changer. The development of the boomer has been kept under wraps by the Chinese authorities. It says, but new images have been revealed in the magazine Modern Weaponry, which is run by state-owned defense corporation China North Industries Group. It says the publication describes the aircraft a god of war in the sky. And computer-generated images show its remarkable similarity to the USB-2 Spirit stealth bomber introduced in the 1990s. So that's why they showed you a shot here. So one thing,
I wonder where they got those plans from.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's the one that my grandma and grandpa both worked at Boeing for different things on the stealth bomber, and they wouldn't talk about it even after it was declassified. They still wouldn't say it. I'm like, Grandpa, it's already declassified. They wouldn't do it. All right, and then the way they describe that, the god of war in the sky, just makes me think of what's going on right now. So let's, this is something big on the horizon right here. I ran to the store. Largest Navy ship catches fire, sinks in the Gulf of Oman. The largest ship in the Navy caught fire and later sank Wednesday in the Gulf of Oman under unclear circumstances, semi-official news agencies reported. It says the Fars and Tasnim news agency said that the efforts failed to save the support ship Karg, sounds like a Star Trek character, named after the island that serves as the main oil terminal for... So... Notice this, named after the island that serves as the main oil terminal for I country. That comes into play in just a minute. The blaze began around 2:25 a.m. Firefighters tried to contain it. Fars said the vessel sank near the port of Jask, some 790 miles southeast of Tehran. So, 790 miles away, it says in the Gulf of Oman, near the Strait of Hormuz. If you watch my show, you know why I'm saying the Strait of Hormuz. Fantastic Freddy. Starts with 2 letters. Fantastic Freddy. Photos circulated on social media of sailors wearing life jackets evacuating the vessel as a fire burned behind them. State TV and semi-official news agency referred to the Karg as a training ship Far as published, so their biggest Navy ship is a training ship. So what do you think about this? Well, this by itself. Oh, by the way, we were monitoring this 4 days ago, and we talked about this. In fact, if you go back to our show 4 days ago, we were talking about how they had their large, huge container ship that was turned into a forward operating base and a Navy ship that was headed towards Venezuela. And we said they're monitoring it, and we don't know. Maybe they have weapons on it. Venezuela is very close to Florida, where they can actually go to Venezuela and then launch whatever missiles that they have at the United States. In fact, I believe they can reach Washington, D.C. with certain missiles if they get close enough to Florida. So they were monitoring that. We talked about that. And then it just so happens that they catch fire and sink. Oh, but wait. There's more. Massive fire breaks out at the oil refinery near I's capital. Dex, how obvious does it have to be? And they can just say, oh, it's laser dolphins or something else, and people believe it.
Same day. I know.
Same day. Are people just dumb? This is straight up, this is the work of another government or their government doing it to themselves to make it look like it was our government. Whatever it was, because, it's not only us that does Fantastic Freddy's. So something massive is happening right now, and if you're a normal person, you wouldn't even know that anything is happening. That's the reason why everybody thinks you're crazy, because guess what? If you go by the official narrative, then you just keep walking and you say nothing to see here. This is what they have turned people into. People are going, well, you're just overreacting. I saw that comment. Somebody said, I think you're just taking, you're too excited about this. I think you're a little paranoid about that. And I responded, I said, you're the person I'm talking to. Wake up. This is not a joke. This is something that's going to affect you. And you can put the blinders on and say, I'm not going to listen, la, 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 but don't watch then. Go back to sleep. Push the snooze button some more. This is real. This is happening. Christopher St. Clair, thank you so much for subscribing. Corey Crichton, Red Dwarf. Lawrence Lumley, thank you so much. Michael Lideker, thank you so much for your support. Over on D-Live, thank you. Whoa. Zippy Moons just dropped an injet over on D-Live. Says it in these weird times, a smile, a nod in recognition could mean the world to someone. Be kind in a world full of darkness. Be the light. Hashtag God rules. Thank you, Zippy Moons. Thank you, Gone Girl 777. Thank you both for supporting our show. Seriously, it is a handful of people that actually go above and beyond, including yourself, Kelly2334, and others that actually come in. Susan Donahue, all these people that go above and beyond. Thank you, because honestly, if you guys knew how this actually worked, it's really rough. So thank you, and thank you. All right. To go back to this though. This is an insanity. Dex, I don't know how people are still thinking that nothing is going on right now.
Well, and the real question is who's doing it, right? And is it the U.S.? Is it the other I country? Is somebody doing it to make it look like somebody else is doing it? Or is it, like you said, an F? So, yeah. But it's not coincidence. Allegedly, in my opinion, it's not coincidence. Two things happened back to back, and these types of things we've seen happen in other circumstances that also don't look like just random coincidences.
Let's see here.
And by the way, when you mentioned the amphibious ships, and I know you did this in the other show, there was a third event that happened with ships, and it was in the port of I.
That's
They
right.
had random ships that caught fire in port right at that same time.
Somebody says, then what is going on then? We have stuff up in low Earth orbit, or whatever you want to call it, super high altitude, or space, that has incredible abilities to destroy things. That's what I think. I think that is energy that is directed down, and it can burn basically anything from space with no warning, or it could even just sit there and sit on it. I don't know. But what I do know is that these different countries have all weaponized it, that they all three have it. It's so weird, though, because if you were a ruler, it would almost be like on a daily basis, like, oh, laser, oh, well, we think it's Russia. It's like out of the movies where they're like, yeah, it's Russia, but we can't do anything publicly, so we're going to have to send in a spy and we need to take somebody out. It's like, this is what happens behind the scenes. And nobody realizes it, that this is all, it's like they're all dancing publicly, and all of them have these little 22s, little, hidden weapons, and they're all just going ping, bang, and then somebody falls down, and all the public go, oh, somebody fell down. Oh, and then another person. It's like a mystery dinner. You don't know who did it. But everybody knows who did it. It's not that hard. This is really happening around us. If you think all these things are coincidences, then you're an idiot. And you know I rarely say that kind of stuff. How can people think that all of these things, the Chinese vessel in port, the U.S. amphibious assault carrier, the Chinese amphibious assault carrier, the I country thing, all in port, just caught fire? Personally, I think that Bay, root of all evil, I believe that was all of this. That's my personal opinion. So, we don't know when the trigger is going to be pulled. It wasn't immediately clear what started the blaze. Temperatures reached nearly 40 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit. Hot summer weather in I has caused fires in the past. Do they think you're stupid? Yeah, they do. It's hot there. It's 104 degrees all the time. Somebody says it was aliens. Yes, they do. Wide Awake and Angry says, Foogled Electromag. Hello, summer fire from the battleship. Spot on. Let's see here. Beverly Grass. We've got Dark Helmet. Save Yourself Sheeple. We've got T. Taylor. Pre-Tribblers. Let's see here. Nana Deborah. We've got the Cable Guy. Zippy Moons. Thank you again. Love God's Splan. We've got Sheed Meldon for Christ. Ben Schnitten. Is it yes, no, sir? Ben something or other. Smelly. Ben Smelly. Believer 7777. We've got Robert Omo. Bow Gillespie. Red in the Valley. Kim O'Donnell. Aussie Jeffo. All right. Get your stuff ready. Jeanette T, thank you so much for your support. Gone Girl 777 over on PayPal. Thank you for your support as well over the last week. Again, thank you. I did miss that. I appreciate that. Again, everybody that is supporting over there, I do appreciate you guys so much. And thank you, everybody that goes over there and does that. Russian Project 955A Bore A SSBN starts sea trials. Dex, what is this thing? It's basically
it's their new sub. Their new bad A sub, right?
So Do you think that this thing, I mean, it's like they all have crazy ass technology. Why won't they just, the next conflict will be bonkers. That's what we can guarantee.
Yeah, I'm sure the next thing we'll see from this, I mean, they're just now starting to go out and test it and take it out, but I think, we're going to see launches from this thing soon.
So we'll see about the Konyas Oleg, and we will follow that. And then we've got Pentagon eyes new boomers for war with China, not ISIS. What's funny is they actually just said that a colored skin people are actually the biggest enemy, not ISIS or any of that, which I thought was very interesting. And the Air Force will buy fewer Joint Direct Attack Munitions, or JDAMs, Hellfire missiles, and small diameter booms as it prepares to invest in state-of-the-art long-range weapons that are better suited for operations in the Pacific, according to its fiscal 2022 budget. Dex, this is like straight out, follow the money, look at what they're doing. It's very obvious what is about to happen here.
Absolutely. They plan it, they build it, and they use it.
And China knows this, and Russia knows this, and the rest of the world knows this. So they're going to play things accordingly. They plan everything out. It's like a game of rock, paper, scissors. They know that they're about to do scissors, so they put out a piece of paper, but they know that that they put out scissors, so they put out paper. So they're trying to think of how they can do rock next. If you get that analogy, then you are already doing a great job today. It says the service has requested $161 million to buy an initial production of 12 air-launched rapid response weapons, or arrows, hypersonic weapons, to move it out of the research and development phase, despite the service shifting more resources toward the Arrow program last year. The missile failed its first flight test a few weeks ago. It says the Air Force also wants to increase the procurement of the Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile Extended Range, or JASSMR, stealth cruise missile, an advanced weapon with a range of roughly 600 miles. So, which, by the way, the procurement has its own budget now this fiscal year. Yesterday or the day before, we showed you that all of those billions of dollars are going into these certain programs. Which, by the way, it sounds like there's jets above us right now. I turned it way up so you guys could possibly hear. Dex, NK, when were we talking about this? Okay, chat. When were we talking about Kim possibly passing it down to his sister? Anybody put in the chat. When were we talking about this? Again, this is today's article. And how long have we been talking about this? And then it's like, we mentioned it last night, and then boom, big article on it. Who knows? Maybe Putin watches the show. NK's Kim Jong-un establishes new deputy post amid speculation sister is possible successor. Why would he do this, Dex? Or the family, or the memory of him, or whatever hologram of him that's going on?
Exactly. Yeah. This is, merely to point out the fact that, they're the mainstream, especially, and this is coming from Sputnik. So this is, coming from
Russia.
Russia is stating that the sister is likely in position to either take over or already has. And obviously this new position they created is, part of the new leadership that they need, leadership position. But yes, we've been talking about this for a while. I know you've brought it up numerous times. We've mentioned Dennis Rodman, et cetera. But it was just very ironic that yesterday we're talking about it, and boom, today they come out and in the mainstream say it.
And to read this one, this says it all. It says, in case, quote, in case of an emergency, including those involving Leader Kim's health, Kim Yo-jong is likely to take up his deputy position and act temporarily as the successor until power is handed over to Kim Jong-un's son, who's a kid. I don't even know how old he is. He probably has 40 sons, but whatever one's going to take power is going to take power after the sister. I don't know if you guys hear that. That is really spooky. That is spooky. All right. Anyways, again, it's like, it's so weird. It's like the night before when we talk about massive blackouts, and then boom, we had a nationwide blackout over in what was it? What was that last one? Was that in? I think that was over in the Middle East. They had a massive blackout. It's like it's so weird, and I wonder if it's like we're speaking it into existence or something. 3,000 people thinking it, and then boom, it happens. It's almost like maybe we should say, oh, it's world peace. I don't know. And then we have the EU launches digital wallet in latest step towards cashless society. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do not want a cashless society. They want everything digital. They want to track every single dollar you spend. They want every single tax dollar. They want to know where you're spending it, what you do, what your favorite things to buy are. They want to basically know everything inside and out. They want you to be a complete drone. They want you to be a human version of a consumer and worker. They just want you to be a worker bee. Am I wrong? Put it in the comment below. I'd love to hear your opinion on this.
This is very much a component of what you see in the social credit system in China, right? So when you think about the, I believe it's called WhatsApp, the app that they use, that everything is built into, it is your wallet. And they're talking about creating a digital wallet. And it's not just cashless society. It's like, okay, your driver's license, your papers, any of your different credit cards, any of your banking, all of that stuff has to go into this digital wallet. And that's what you now are allowed to use when you go out. So if you have to show an ID, you would show your digital wallet. If you had to, do some sort of, identification transaction, you would use the wallet. If you wanted to pay for something, you would use this wallet. And that's exactly how it works over in China, right? And if they want to shut something down and say you don't have access to something, well, guess what? They can go into the system and say, you're not allowed to buy soda from the vending machine for the next 2 weeks because you've been a bad boy, right?
And we're talking about their system is, say you leave your bike out on the sidewalk, say you jaywalk, say you make a post on WeChat or one of these websites that Dex is talking about, say you criticize the Chinese government. Then that marks your social credit, and then all of a sudden your social credit score gets to the point where you may not buy a train ticket out of town. You may not buy a bus ticket. You may not buy a plane ticket. You will officially be and people go, oh, well, that's in China. Who cares? This kind of same system is now coming to the world, and I hope you understand why. Do what we say, and then you can travel. People are getting stepped on. The entire planet is getting walked over. And nobody is paying attention. It says, despite the concerns about digital privacy being invaded by the V passports that Europe has demanded of travelers, the EU is pressing ahead with plans to launch a, quote, digital wallet that would carry digital copies of a driver's license and credit cards, sort of like Apple Pay does, as Europe continues its transition away from cash. They're publicly telling people about this. They're telling you that they're going away from cash. And you didn't realize when they were doing the coin shortage and all of this. Everybody, they are taking cash away, and they're going to over the next few years. Think about it, in 20 years from now, they already have an agenda set. They want to get rid of money. Guess what? Because money can't be tracked. Money can be stuffed under a mattress. That digital wallet can't. This is really happening, and people are so unaware, and they do it in baby steps. And this is the thing. This is, I think, part of why time is traveling faster now, or seems like it is because they're doing all these baby steps, and they're doing it so fast, and they keep you so stimulated that it's just like boom, 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 and you just zoom through it. But these baby steps they're taking everything away from you. And you have no, like, what are we supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm only one person. Are you going to go into a store with 80 people, doing the right thing and not do that thing and cause a scene and do all that? Most people won't. They'll go in and they'll just be that person. This is so scary for my kids. Like, I already see my aunts and my, in my family members that have, my cousins, 10 years, 8 years, 7 years younger than me, and they've already been affected by this new system. They're brainwashed. They don't have, they won't do research into anything else. If they don't believe it, then they just shut out. This is what's happening. It's really, really scary. There's people that are all over YouTube and everything. We need to work together. I don't know why everybody has these little bitchy fits and fights with each other. We need to all stand up together. We're all saying the same thing. Then why aren't we doing it? I don't understand it at all. I think it's because just, I think it's because people are afraid of just everything. It's insane. Proof of aliens will lead to new religions and massive military spending. Barack Obama. It says Mr. B.O. was waded into the conversation about alien life and was predicted that if evidence of alien emerges, it will lead to sweeping changes around our planet. Does that sound a lot like the comments that we heard about from other officials saying we have crashed stuff, and when people find out about what it is, it's going to change everything. It's going to change the world. And now Mr. B.O. is saying it as well. It says the former U.S. Pres said that the proof of aliens would likely result in the emergence of new religions. And there would be calls for huge sums of money to be spent on weapon systems so we can defend ourselves from possible attack. What the F?
I mean, he knows what's going on, right? He's been in the big seat. So he's saying these things. Either he knows or he's setting a stage. One of the two.
Setting the stage for like this report. This is nuts. What if they say, "Oh, this is China and Russia"? Well, if they do, then we better go to conflict because they've been violating all this stuff and coming right up into our bubble. Or are we all going to unite from this threat that we can't see, the invisible enemy? It seems to me like there's a really repeating kind of door that keeps going around in circles. The invisible enemy. Something you don't even see, but you're afraid of. Something you don't know if it even exists because you don't see proof yourself, but they tell you that there's proof all around you. Oh, I know somebody that did. Oh, but they're still here? Oh, well, oh, okay. Oh, that person died. Oh, but they also, weighed 450 pounds. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was definitely that. Oh, they got shot in the head too? Oh, yeah, that must have been that. The invisible enemies. But if we all unite under it, say, hey, these invisible enemies coming, we need to get everything digital. Because These invisible enemies, their strength is us spending cash, right? If we spend cash, it makes them more powerful. It's like Godzilla and nuclear energy. They're going to come down, and if we're using cash and if we're using our brains for independent thought, it gives them power. That's what I'm going with. It says, but he said the existence of aliens would not change his own perspective on life. Prez O was speaking on the New York Times podcast just days after it emerged that UFOs had been regularly spotted by U.S. military personnel. He went on to say, I am one. No, he didn't actually say that. That would have been cool. Because we all know you are. Man. It's just funny transition to go from. Anyways, man-monkey hybrid sparks fears of Frankenstein creatures. Researchers conducting human-animal hybrid experiments struck fear into federal lawmakers worried that nightmare scenarios of Frankenstein creatures have become reality. This fear was realized when researchers announced blending man and monkey earlier this year. The Salk Institute for Biological Studies in La Jolla, California, said in April that it participated in a China-led research team in an experiment injecting human stem cells into monkey embryos that allowed the resulting creature to live and grow for 19 days before it was terminated. Are you effing kidding me? They're making human monkey babies.
And how do we know it was terminated? How do we know somebody didn't just take one of them home and say, well, we'll see what happens in, 300 days or 1,000 days? What does it look like?
This is so disturbing. Why even let it grow for 19 days to see if it can grow? The researchers
And why is a China-led research happening in California?
Well, because they own California.
Yeah, that's true.
Duh. They bought it. Cash. Quick sales. Along with our ports. And our surveillance systems. And our government. And our politicians. I think that went too far. Inside Citizen, the public safety app pushing surveillance boundaries. Speaking of which, the smartphone app Citizen describes itself in simple terms: a safety network that sends alerts about nearby incidents, including crime. Sounds a lot like Neighbors. It says, but in recent months, its business has pushed into potentially dangerous new territory, alarming law enforcement officials and people who work there. In Los Angeles, the company's CEO, Andrew Frame, ordered his staff to put a $30,000 reward on the capture of a man he incorrectly thought was responsible for starting a brush fire that was threatening homes. The sheriff's office denounced the move, saying it put the man in danger, and the man was cleared of wrongdoing. So this is like snitch on people, even if they're guilty before proven they're guilty before proven innocent, right? Is that the pattern here, Dex?
Yeah, it is. And again, we were just talking about this with, the cashless app and the wallet. Here is another technology that's going to be that's actually being put in use. That's sort of, it's like saying, okay, well, we don't really have that social credit score that they have over in China, but no, we actually sort of do, because it's just coming together in a whole series of things that will eventually turn into that, right? And so this is yet another fine example of an application that is, definitely doing some maybe it's doing some good, but it's definitely doing some harm. When you think about having somebody putting a $30,000 bounty on you, and you didn't do anything wrong.
It's like,
that's huge.
It's like we're taking GPS to social credit score, and we click the little gray line that says similar ETA, right? We're just going a different route. We're avoiding the highways. We're going the back roads to it. That's actually a pretty good analogy.
Absolutely. They turned it on full blast over there. Here we're boiling the frog, right? But don't deny it. It's happening.
Okay, people vote. Boiling the frog or my GPS analogy? Who had the better analogy? Dex or Marf? One for Dex. No. One for Marf. Two for Dex. People automatically do one. One Marf, two Dex. I'll just keep switching.
I voted one.
Oh, you're so sweet. Sorry. Okay, I vote for two. I vote for Dex. All right, Rimac Nevera first look. Geez, that's a lot of... That is a lot of that number. 3, I like you already. 1. Okay, thank you. Everybody's doing 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, well, thank you. We need to work in chorus, and we need to work as partners. Rimac Nevera first look. The C2 becomes a 1,914 horsepower, 258 miles per hour electric hypercar. Sounds pretty badass, Dex. Are you going to get one?
No, thanks. But that's just insane. I mean, 1,900 horsepower. I think the 0 to 60 on this was something like 1.8 seconds or something, which is, now we're going to have to start measuring in fractions of a second because of these electric cars.
I wonder, and they have instant get up and go. That's why people love electric cars. Even like the Ford Volts or Chevy Volt or whatever, not a Tesla. In fact, one of my friends has an electric car. It's a little small commuter car, and that thing just goes, choo! Electric is so awesome. If you've ever had, if you haven't been in an electric car yet, if you've ever been on an electric go-kart, it just goes. There's no delay for the engine to go up. So these things, this is incredible. But a massive price tag on it. It has a price tag of too damn much. Actually, it's $2.4 million. The body is actually made of carbon fiber, as is the chassis and most of the interior. Its a surface inside isn't visible carbon. It's clad in luscious leather. Man, that's incredible. Rimac's ridiculous power figure comes courtesy of a 120 kilowatt per hour battery pack that feeds juice into 4 electric motors. That's sustainable. I think that's incredible, ingrainable, and abstainable, I think. I don't think abstainable works in that situation, but I'm going to keep going, and I shouldn't have said anything about it.
And at 1,900 horsepower, you get about 30 minutes on that battery.
That's so stupid. Like, let me go to the store and back.
I'm just making that up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they said 340 miles, but I guarantee you that's not doing 0 to 60 in 1.8 every, mile.
Dex got jokes. Oh, but speaking of jokes, no joke. Nearly half of Americans think dinosaurs still roam the earth. What? This is stupid.
Isn't this one crazy?
When did Jurassic Park go from a blockbuster movie to a conspiracy theory? A shocking new study finds that nearly half of Americans say they're convinced dinosaurs still exist in some remote corner of the world. I've never heard of this. This sounds so dumb. I could see water dinosaurs like the plesiosaurus or the no, that's the on land. The
Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah, but it has its actual, it has its plesiosaur. Somebody tell me what the Loch Ness Monster's dinosaur name is. Somebody's going to have it. Researchers polling 2,000 adults discovered that 4 in 10 think that the famous prehistoric inhabitants existed between 2,000 and 10,000 years ago, rather than between 66 and 230 million years ago. 1 in 5 even believe that the dinosaur population only went extinct 100 years ago. 54% also believe sorry, a lot of China articles. 54% also believe that all dinosaurs only lived in Africa and North America, unaware that scientists have unearthed their bones all over the world. Despite there being more than 1,000 different species of dinosaur, the typical adult can name just 4. Tyrannosaurus rex being the most recognizable of all. So basically, everyone's prehistoric knowledge comes down to the main characters of Jurassic Park. This is why when you talk to most people, they are completely asleep. We're talking about when they were in school, they did the basic amount to get through school, or they did the basic amount to get that A, but once school ended, they stopped learning, they stopped reading, they stopped researching. There are a lot of people that you know, not you, almost everybody that's in this chat, you spend almost all your time going down these rabbit holes and at least asking questions. But most people don't. They fill their brain with just mindless entertainment. And it's not bad. If you watch Netflix and all these different shows and all that, that's fine too. But at least you're going down these rabbit holes. At least you're keeping up to date with all of the news. You're keeping up with this kind of stuff. At least you're going and asking questions. If you never stop asking questions, that means you're learning for your entire life. It may seem hard for you to understand that there are truly people that just stop learning. Actually, so Bionic Bob says they did 2,000 people. That's nothing. So when they poll 2,000 people, just so you know, Family Feud only polls 100 people. Statistically speaking and scientifically by facts, you only need about 500 people to get accurate numbers. So 2,000 is 4 times that amount. That's actually a good, accurate way to do it, Bob. So scientifically speaking, that speaks for an average American. So that's actually overkill to get a real number. And what you would theorize is that, they must have just picked 2,000 really stupid people, right? That's not how it works. Either way, it's not too unbelievable. They didn't say half of people think that dinosaurs are still alive. In fact, it kind of goes into this of it. It says, of the 42% of the responders with children under 16, more than 8 in 10, 84% believe that they have passed their love of dinosaurs down to the next generation. 3/4 of parents in the survey add their kids, and now more clued up on the prehistoric creatures than they are. A further 84% of moms and dads said that their children are now obsessed with dinosaurs too. Dinosaurs continue to fascinate. There is still so much that we don't know about them, says paleontologist Professor Steve Brissett. So one thing, though, is that people are not getting the same education. They're not doing cursive writing. They're not even teaching kids how to actually read an analog clock anymore. They're not teaching kids, and now they're teaching kids new math where it's incredibly simplified. Now children are now getting cell phones in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. So guess what that means? You've got Google to answer all of your questions from very, very early on. You don't actually ask those questions or try to go look and read that question. You just Google it. Everybody said, well, everybody else has cell phones, so my kid can't not have a cell phone. She can't be out there with all those pervers and pedos and not have a cell phone. That's great, but guess what that comes with? Personally, I think that we should have taken a societal interest in, if kids are going to have cell phones that young, even under 16, that it was only for phone reasons and only for emergency, like mom, dad, 911. Not internet, not, various hubs of pornography that kids have access to. It's incredible. And Google means I'm never stepping in a library ever again. That's what I think. Phone gives them access to more kids. I don't know about that. I wish I never got a cell phone, says Jeannie F. Chandler. Carolina Roots, the Bible is the best education a man will ever get. Heck, give them a flip phone. Well, you don't want your kid to get beat up. Just kidding. Phones are babysitters. Yes. How many people put a tablet in their kid's cart in the store? There's a lot of people that are, oh no, I would never do that, but they actually do that. There's a lot of people that are guilty of it. We've put a cell phone or tablet in the playpen with Bluey or an educational Netflix show. So I'm not going to lie and say that I haven't put a tablet in front of my kids with a show. But one thing I'm not doing, and I won't do, is put a 5G or a 4G device near my kids. A tablet with Wi-Fi that goes to regular internet, maybe. Just a suggestion. But you can do as you do. Dex.
Do you think the people in power or other countries that look at Americans and look at a study like this and go, half of Americans think that dinosaurs still exist, meaning that they basically think Jurassic Park was a reality TV show, and that's the only education they got? I mean, that's what they have. That's what they're looking at. Like, they look at that and they that's how they perceive us. That's crazy. I mean, this article is humorous on one hand.
No.
And it's sad on another, right? It really is.
Whoever said that says, yeah, they only took 2,000 people. That's not a good judge of it. But that's actually not. I think that people are telling themselves that the next generations are better off than they are. I don't think that person probably has kids, because I heard, especially with the kids at home and homeschooling through the computer during CV, their classes and the stuff that they're teaching them is incredibly just. Have you focused on what your kid is learning even in high school? I mean, it's levels below what it was even 10 years ago. Education is the most powerful tool that our children could have, and I don't think they're all getting it. That's why the rich and elite, they will be able to afford those private schools where they actually sit there and grind for 9 hours, and if they don't get enough information, they end up grind 3-4 more hours with private tutors. Those people are actually, it's just in general, they're set better than other people. Even if you can make money without a degree, you can be a Gilly Bates, but it still puts you in a better position if you are educated compared to not educated. Doesn't mean that you're better. Doesn't mean that you are smarter either. There's people that are just super dumb that are book smart. You need a balance of both. And 95 Hero, these dino people, let me guess, they're all on a certain list for voting a certain way too. Yep. Zippy Moons, my brother works for Albany Engineered Composites in Salt Lake City. They make all the bodies for Jasm's Cray Cray. Oh, weird. That is cool. I love maybe an interview would be cool. I love Chihuahuas. I'm scared to death and only have my Yoda. Not safe. Don't worry, your wallet won't be cyber hacked. Let's see here. Not Lisa K. Yeah, because when we all go to a digital wallet, you won't have, you do something wrong and they just empty it out straight from their remotely. Marv, have you heard Russia has one of our citizens in a labor camp? No, but I will look into it. Scooby-Doo, Do Right, Bear Claws, Gem, thank you so much for being here every night. Pat, Punksy, let's see here, Jessa Lopez, thank you as well. Thank you, Priscilla R., thank you for the massive support. Dex, let us know about the website. We've got tons and tons and tons of info here.
Yeah, some interesting things going on. A couple of things about JB. Basically, when he thinks he was sworn into office, and another one about incentivizing the things we've talked about, these incentivizations, but he's promoting beer now as an incentive. You know what I'm talking about. More information on the web-only content, things around the stuff in Arizona and other topics were not really easy to cover on our show here on this platform. So real simple, just go to marfooglenews.com, look for the thumbnail for this show, scroll down, look for web-only content. You will find everything else that we couldn't talk about. And if you missed another show, you should click back on that one and go look at the web-only content. Lots of good stuff here.
Now, and I'll pop this over. I want to say a big thank you. Lisa Astry says, hello, Marf and Dex, from Lisa and Travis Astry. We enjoy all of your shows. We watch them together. We watch every video you post. Thank you, Lisa Astry. Lori Older says, nothing, just did an awesome thank you super sticker. Ugh, always late for the show. Love you, Foogle fam, says Liz Gaspari. Gaspari Nutrition, thank you. Got to check out your channel. I mean, must be a channel, right? Nutrition channel, especially. Veteran, just Veteran, says, God bless you, Adam. Thank you, and God bless you, too. I really appreciate that. Brother Ralph says, or Rolf says, please be led by the Spirit. We will not stop what's coming. Ilea says, is tonight call-in show or news only? I tried calling, but it's not urgent. Oh, I'm sorry, Ilea. But I would love to get you in tomorrow. Every other day now. It is in Scientific American magazine that scientists were actually extracting DNA and doing what they described in the movie, says Heidi12. Michelle Leach says, regarding digital currency, my financial advisor said it's not going to be that bad. That this is a way to stop child/sex traffickers and criminals. However, if we want to buy, sell off of each other, it will possibly be tracked for taxes. Say bye to garage sales. Who knows, Michelle, and thank you for the massive support to the channel, but who knows if they'll actually do some sort of thing to where you'll be able to digitally take tokens or something. I don't know. Could they ever get rid of garage sales? That would be unbelievably sad.
You can do Cash App and Venmo at garage sales now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Adam, again, thank you for the heads up on that. Stormy7572. Jeff M says, had 2 separate antibody tests. Both show high levels. Trump any vaccine had mild reactions for a few days early 2020, not ruining my immunity. Ben Jamming, Fly By Me, says, hey, Marf and Dex, finally got my fiance addicted to the show, and she's hooked and just subscribed. Watching live from Colorado, Xandra and I send love. Ben, thank you, and officially thank you for addicting somebody to the show. I really do appreciate when you actually bring somebody in. If you do, you might even get a silly song made about you. A silly song of satisfaction sung to the world. Average Jeff Homesteader, thank you. Diana Dawn, Ganji Seed Bank, everybody that supported tonight, thank you. Everybody over on D-Live, Zippy Moons, guaranteed is the #1 tonight. Gone Girl, #1 on YouTube, along with Michelle Leach, and then Susan Donahue, wherever you are. I love you guys, and thank you so much. Veteran Steve, End Times, The Truth Is Out There. We've got lots of awesome people out there. Dex, thank you so much for your help tonight.
Great show, brother. Much love.
And now it is officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. It's where I say thank you to the people that matter most. It's you. If you are new here and this is your first night, normally it looks a little bit better, but it should sound the same. These are like the credits. I do a little freestyle stupid thing. I actually started it out as just a joke, and people liked it a lot. But on top of that, I thought it was very cool because it really does matter that you guys understand that I actually get to know you, and I get to read your chat, and I actually get to conversate with you, even though I'm reading and you guys are talking through it. It's made me get to know who my audience is. I know almost every name. So it's been really cool, and thank you, everybody. If you do want to subscribe to the music portion of the show, go over to Marfoogle Jams. If you have not subscribed to Marfoogle News, this is Marfoogle TV. Over on Marfoogle News, it's let's get us to 200,000 by the end of this year. That would be great. It'd be great if we just grew 15,000 in 1 month like we did last month, but who knows? Get us there, 200,000 this year. All right. Have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out.
Now, ooh, they hate you now. 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 Hello, hello, goodbye. Hello, hello, goodbye. Hello, hello, goodbye. Hello, hello, goodbye. Every other on the funky. I wish you're far down now. The man monkeys bringing on the gory crayons. Do it when I got the color on the crayons. All now, I just need your last go. But she's gone, I don't want no basco. Tabasco on the match stage. Oh, bring it down, oh, now say late. Hello, hello, goodbye. Hello, hello, goodbye. Hello, hello, goodbye. Zippy on the moonshot, I not zippy on the moonshot, aya, 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 hello, hello, goodbye. Zippy on the moons, on the moons, 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 zippy on the moons, on the moons. Pirates with the yabba dabba, affixing to love you. We calcitrant lady 1, 2, 3, 4 in the bob dog. Got the carol on the errands and the sub dubs. On the holiday kisser, never on the missa. Satire 99 on the sissa. Oh nah, you got the Prachila R. Honey on the beat and I got no fire. Gonna go down like the Cote d'Ivoire. Everybody loves you in the Hossy bar. Oh nah, with the white high night. Homesteading on the Harley night guy. Oh nah, everybody wanna fly. Sparky's running the white tail light. Oh nah, with the Kevin on Dooley. Oh I, with the Long John Sterling. Oh nah, with the Long John Silver. Read on down and how they go killer. With the Mercer 1 and the T-Shot. And the everybody knows Latisha. And the Kelly Henson and the Blowtorch Barbie. Everybody hitting and they go right by me. Everybody knows a genie of Chandler. Be safe. Seriously, Priscilla R. A Scooby-Doo right in everybody hard. The Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Gotta get on the phone, I go and beg him more. I do it right now like a man monkey. Hey now, Lord, the Lord and do it. Everything you do with the breading on them one too. It's a story on the bot noise, on the bot noise, on the bot noise. Susan in the house when the horse on the bows, you know, bring it on the sheet and I'll drop on her house like a wiggle, wear underwear, she the Christine, a Faye, Jamie Charm, and bring it on, see now. White night, it ain't so funny in the knowledge. 2020, Laura Griffith in another college. Oh, now, community, the college. Oh, now, I ain't gonna train your kids in the valley, y'all. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Give it up for your mods, people. Thank you so much, everybody that rocked out tonight. Thank you for our top supporters. Zippy Moons, Gone Girl 777, Carolina Roots, N95 Hero. Mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Carolina Roots, and they be on the wrong roadside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, yeah. Carolina Roots, and they be on the wrong roadside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, oh yeah. Carolina Roots, and they be on the wrong roadside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, oh yeah. Carolina Roots, and they be on the wrong roadside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, oh yeah. Carolina Roots, and they be on the wrong roadside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside. Carolina roadside, oh yeah. Carolina Roots, and they be on the wrong roadside. Carolina roadside, going on the bullside.